calling for the extermination of the LGBTQIA plus community is older than...
Dude, most of those letters are from the last 2 years, 3 years. And previously, in the 2000s, there was no letters. It was just lesbian or gay. Right? You remember? And in the 90s, it was just gay. The 80s, I don't even remember, because in the 80s it was like non-existent until RuPaul blew up on TV. And then they put the Real World on. Once they put the Real World San Francisco on, then, you know, it became mainstream. I remember, like, I was young, but I was alive. And the media didn't blow this shit up until, you know, till they started with the racist shit. And then it's all over everything. Like, now it's in schools and they're teaching it to your kids. No one's calling for extermination. We're calling for control.
In 2004, I was in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and I watched a drill sergeant take a private up to a tree and tell him to apologize to the tree for wasting his oxygen. It was Drill Sergeant G. Every day I'm on this app, I understand Drill Sergeant G's mentality a little bit more. Because in that video of mine that he stitched, I show members of the church standing up at the pulpit and preaching the extermination of members of the LGBTQIA plus community.
That they are worthy of death. These people should be put to death.
That clip, in its entirety, is in the video that he stitched. But this is the issue. People who know nothing about members of the LGBTQIA plus community advocating for policy against our community. The man believes that we didn't exist before the 80s, that we only exist because of RuPaul's Drag Race, completely disregarding all of human history that is not white, cis, and heterosexual. These are the type of people who read letters between two Victorian men in which one of the men states that his loins long for the other and go, oh, they were really good friends. They hear the story of Alexander the Great lying on the body of one of his dead cavalry commanders, crying for days, refusing to move until he was dragged away by other commanders, refusing to eat, and go, Alexander lost his best friend. They forget the fact that indigenous cultures had two spirits, and we have records of trans people dating all the way back to the Assyrian Empire. And they willingly ignore the entire history of ancient Greece, Rome, and other cultures around the world in which we existed in, with no excuse. They learned about this in school. Road Rage Bo and myself were just experiencing a few days ago about how the Rome's Not Real lady is trending again, and now we get the queer community didn't exist before the 80s. Our collective eye twitch just went away, and now this. And he votes.